Good day and welcome to Conversations with AARP in the Virgin Islands. I'm Troy Deshabert-Schuster, State Director of AARP in this territory. Thank you for joining us today and participating in this conversation with AARP Virgin Islands and the Virgin Islands Department of Human Services, the Senior Citizen Service Employment Program, and the Virgin Islands Department of Labor, specifically the Workforce Development Unit. AARP is a nonprofit, nonpartisan member organization dedicated to empowering Americans 50 plus to choose how they live as they age. Through its policies and advocacy, AARP remains committed to focusing on issues of critical importance as we age. AARP is concerned with providing Virgin Islanders with practical solutions to protecting their health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. Today's guests, Cindy Rollins Williams, the director of the Senior Citizen Service Employment Program, otherwise known as CSEP, and Melita Etienne, director of Workforce Development, will share information on workforce opportunities for older Virgin Islanders. Welcome, Ms. Williams and Ms. Etienne.
Good day. Thank you for having us.
Good day. It's a pleasure. Thanks for being with us today to share this important information. And so you all have some long titles that I just recited. So if you break that down and make it simple for our listening audience, starting with Ms. Williams, what is it that you do exactly in the department in which you work? Tell us all about that.
Okay. Well, first of all, starting off, we are the CISA program is a program under the Department of Human Services, and we operate on a division of Senior Citizen Affairs, and under that, we help seniors re-enter the workforce. The goal of CSEP is to help seniors 55 years or older re-enter the workforce.
Okay, great. And Ms. Etienne, tell us about what you do.
Certainly. So, as a director of workforce development services here at the Virgin Islands Department of Labor, I oversee our one stop operation as well as specifically our employment services program, also known as Wagner Kaiser. We actually have two main groups and divisions in workforce development in the Department of Labor, those that deal with adult and desiccated workers and generic employment services. But we also have our youth and apprenticeship program, which is overseen by Director Shanika Sebastian.
Okay, now I find it interesting that CSEP is in human services, but I guess you have to work closely with the VIA Department of Labor. And why is CSEP in the Department of Human Services and not in the Department of Labor?
We are funded by the U.S. Department of Labor, and we are a required partner with the VI Department of Labor.
They're part of our one stop operation, so they're part of the team.
Yes.
Okay, and is there a specific reason though why you're situated in the Department of Human Services? I mean, I'm asking these probing questions, but I'm sure that our listening audience will probably wonder the same thing. Why not just sit in the Department of Labor?
Well, actually, we operated via the VI Department of Labor, and then we just transitioned over to Department of Human Services because, again, we are under the Senior Citizens Affairs umbrella, and we have other social programs also that also target senior citizens 55 years or older. So
Okay,
we all in one division.
okay. And so tell me a little more specifically about what CSEP does. What does this program entail?
Okay, so the CSEP program, again, we assist seniors 55 years or older attempting to re-enter the workforce. Once a client qualifies, we assign them out to do work-based training with a host agency, which is a government agency, a nonprofit organization. And also we work with the business community um, locally. We provide job training for them or work-based training. Also, we provide classroom training. We address their barriers to employment within the community and try to address that so they can be successful in finding employment opportunities.
So you help the 50 plus and older. to get back into the workforce, but presumably in private sector, right? Not in government jobs.
Government agency, nonprofit, and also private sector.
So including government agencies.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. And if they were a government employee and retired and receiving GERS benefits,
Mhm.
then how does that work when you help them to re-enter the workforce within the government of the Virgin Islands? What
That's
happens
a
with their GE?
very good question because right now with GRS, they say you can only work 500 hours per year. So that's a challenge for a GRS retiree to come on the CSEP program. But let's say someone retired and sometimes their benefits don't come in. They may not have any income coming in. And let's say we can only work with them once it's past 6 months. Because once a retiree retire, they are still work ready. So the best bet for them would be via Department of Labor. Anything after 6 months of trying to find work opportunity, that's where CSEP can work with a client and try to address what barriers they may be having. Most of the time, it can be discrimination because a lot of times employers don't want to hire the older folks, but our people can prove themselves once they have that opportunity. And you know for I am understanding that the laws are changing where they're allowing the retirees to go back out to find employment opportunities and to come back to work in the government agencies, and we are looking forward to that because that would help expand our client base.
Yeah, the laws are indeed about to change. Hopefully, at AARP, we are collaborating with the senator who's sponsoring a bill to try to change those laws. I won't get into the details now, but it's a very exciting bill that we're
Yes,
working
I'm
on.
excited. I am.
Yeah, and it's going to be wonderful for the older population.
Correct.
Absolutely. And so, Miss Eddie, and tell us then, how do you specifically interface with CSEP?
Oh, perfect question. So CSEP is one of our required partners in the One Stop operation. So under the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, the One Stop is a physical location where all of the partners come so that individuals coming in as a client job seeker, they're able to receive services in one location from a CSEP, or if it was a TANF SNAP program or recipient, or somebody that simply is just looking for training programs and access to training. So we actually are the home of the one-stop system here at Department of Labor. Our one-stop operator is Equus Workforce Solutions. And what we do on a monthly basis, we meet with all of our partners formally in a meeting to talk about different programs, initiatives. We also talk about if we have referrals, the status of those referrals. So we really are the home of that, and it allows us to coordinate a lot of the services that a particular individual might have or need, services they need.
So, not to sound too flippant, but you talk about one stop, but we have two stops. So we have the Department of Labor and CSEP and Human Services. So how do you bring all of that together? If somebody,
So
an older person is interested, where do they go first? How do they start?
Well, that's a good thing because what it should be is sort of a centralized and decentralized model, right? So if somebody starts at Human Services, they can receive access through Human Services to services at Department of Labor. But let's say they came to Department of Labor physically first, but we realize they're a good candidate to receive services from CSEP as well. We're able to still make that next referral. So basically, we have the main one-stop location, right? But it really does operate where anybody can have an entry point into the workforce system, depending on one of the core partner or required partner agencies that you may start at. So that's kind of the good design is that it has, you don't have to come to labor necessarily to receive one-stop services.
Okay, so the way it works then is no matter where you go, you're all in one spot. There's enough of a collaboration. So if somebody ends up at Human Services,
Yes,
it's just as good as being at labor. And if they end up at labor, it's just as good as being at Human Services. So that's the one stop.
yes.
Is that correct?
It's
Yes,
about that
correct.
integration of the system. Yes.
Yes, we do have a referral process on both ends, and we both make sure our client receive the support and services that they need. We have up until about 60 days to refer our clients to the Department of Labor, and also whenever Department of Labor have somebody that qualifies, They send them up to us, and we, qualify them for the program.
Okay, so let's say if I were still a business owner,
Mhm.
um, and I wanted an older person to fill a position. As a business owner, then where would I go? How would I start? How would I get my business into the loop?
You want me to take that one, Miss Williams?
Well, I can tell you about the CSEP aspect of it, and I will let you talk to that one because I think we talked about that recently. With the CSEP program for us is you will just contact us at Department of Human Services, and we will send you a host agency, our employer application packet. And once you fill that out and let us know what you are looking for, we will find a placement to match that uh, with your business. Now, for the business community, we have the option of doing the under job experience program. Now, for the under job experience, this is for profit businesses only. And if they qualify, we can pay the client up to 4 weeks while they are trained with that private business. But of course, we it's a promise for hire. So you have to be looking to hire a client, and once that we will pay them to be trained by you, and then the hire will be transitioned
Oh,
to
okay. So let me understand that because you said a whole lot of good information right there. Um, so if a business came to you and said, okay, I have a cashier position open and I want an
Mhm.
older person to fill this, right?
Yes,
Am I understanding correctly that the CSEP program will pay the employee while they're on training, even in my business?
correct, correct.
That's fantastic. And so then when the training period is over, then I, as a business owner, will then take up paying that employee and you all step out of it.
Correct. We transition over to the business, and that's subsidized placement. Yes.
Okay, great. So now we heard from the CSEP perspective. So now from the Department of Labor perspective, Ms. Etienne.
Absolutely. So definitely, if you have an employer that wants a specific target population, the perfect place to start would be with the CSEP program. However, let's say they came to labor first because labor, we own the job bank for the entire territory. So any job seeker, any employer, right, can come through our VIEW system, the Virgin Islands Electronic Workforce System, post their jobs, and they will be referred candidates. Okay, we can't necessarily distinguish who we refer. We have to make sure we provide equal opportunity. But for every employer that says, I really am interested in hiring an older worker, that's when, of course, we would connect with the CSEP program and say, hey, this employer is looking for candidates for this opening. Here are the requirements of the job. So we really manage the overall job bank for the territory and, of course, the referral of candidates for any opening.
Excellent, excellent. I'm looking here at the comments that are coming in through Facebook, which you can't see from your end, but this one person said, older people are great, dedicated workers. And it's so true. Not only because I'm over 50 years of age now and because I work for AARP, but even as a business owner, I came to discover that the older workers were much more disciplined, much more focused. They were more inclined to show up to work on time. They were less inclined to call out of work. Even if it was a struggle for them, they still pushed themselves to come to work. And for any business owner, I mean, those are traits that are super important, right? I mean, you want dedicated employees that you can rely on, who are going to be there and who are going to be very diligent in their work. So at AARP, we're always encouraging businesses to look to the older population to find employees to really enhance their business. And so now with these programs, where would an older person go to find what's available without coming into CSEP office? Is there something online? How do they find what's available for them up there?
So I'll go ahead and take the lead on that one.
Okay.
So Department of Labor, as I mentioned a little earlier, we manage the Virgin Islands electronic workforce system. So by law, every employer is required to post their vacancies in that system. So any person, any older workers, younger workers, anyone looking for job opportunities should come through that avenue. they should create and register an individual account. So register to have an individual account, upload your resume if you have one, and then you can definitely do your job search based on whatever requirements you have in terms of the occupation of pursuit, what you're interested in. So that's where I would always recommend everyone to start for several reasons. One, it allows us to make referrals on your behalf as workforce staff, but also it allows employers to find you. So they can look and see your skill set, look and see your experience, and be able to find you and reach out to you directly.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So it's almost like a LinkedIn kind of program.
Yes.
I know a lot of the younger people are quite familiar with LinkedIn, but now this is like an in-house government LinkedIn to join people with jobs. So that's really, really fantastic. The Now, as I said before, the the workforce, the older workforce, sorry, I was looking at a message coming in here, is usually the most reliable. But from your perspective, what is your respective agency doing to help employers to understand that? I'm just one person, but there are many employers out there. What are you doing to help employers understand the value of adding older workers to their workforce?
So one of the major and most important things we have to do here at Department of Labor and have started a lot of our efforts around is creating greater awareness around the labor shortages. I don't know if many people know about the recent census that was conducted. We've lost a significant percentage of our population, almost 20,000 people,
Mhm.
right? So now what does that mean for the workforce? I think it makes employers more aware now that the workers that you're looking for, you have to really broaden your perspective of who is a good candidate and what qualifications or requirements are necessary for a job, right? And what I think more employers will find is that older workers come with a lot of the skill set. To your point, dependability, reliability. They come with experience, whether it's in one industry or multiple industries. So it really gives you a labor force that's already pretty much groomed to some degree to kind of hit the ground running. So that's one of the things I think we need to do a better job of and continue to do. We've been doing it more actively, is really talking about the labor force we have and the shortages we have currently. So it just lets people know that, think of outside the box
Mhm.
as you think about your workforce and the individuals that, can meet your needs.
Excellent. And what are some of the specific training or reskilling opportunities for older workers available presently?
Okay, wonderful question. So currently, the Virgin Islands has about 16 eligible training providers, okay, between both districts, sorry, not territories, one territory, both districts. Those 16 eligible training providers, what that means is if you came into our local one stop and you said, hey, I'm interested in this particular employment goal I have, but I need training. It's been determined that I need training, right? We can share with you the listing of eligible training providers that can fill the need. And then we actually go through a process of creating what's called an individual training account for that individual. And you go to training at no cost to you, right? We cover the cost for that training. So there are different occupations. We have what's called an in-demand industry sector list and occupations list. You can actually find it on vital.gov, the listing of eligible training providers. But you'll see that we align most of our trainings and training providers to the in-demand industry sectors designated by the Workforce Development Board. We have a lot of in-demand industry sectors because they've expanded that listing to also include those occupations and industry aligned to the Vision 2040 strategy. So there's a lot of opportunity for training should you decide to pursue it.
And these eligible training providers, are these businesses or tell us a little more about these?
I love that question because eligible training providers are formal occupational skills training. Okay, so think of that very similar to, classroom-based instruction. However, we do support through our workforce system what's called work-based learning opportunities. So there are also opportunities with employers such as on-the-job training, OJT. There's also the option for customized training or incumbent worker training programs. So oftentimes the OJT is a very specific length of time depending on the occupation, but an employer normally indicates that, I'm hiring this person and I'm interested in offering an OJT. So very similar to what Ms. Cindy Rawling Williams talked about in terms of working with employers and subsidizing that period of time before the employer actually takes over in terms of the compensation. So we can subsidize on an OJT up to 90% of the person's salary, depending on the size of the business.
Mhm.
So that's an avenue that we work directly with businesses on, crafting the OJT. And of course, they can refer candidates that they think for the OJT that they would like to consider. So it could be a person that is an older worker or anyone else. And then we work with them on the creation of that OJT and subsidizing that.
Now, what about the basic skills of computer technology, let's say? A lot of older people are not comfortable with using Microsoft Word and using email or even using a computer. And if they want to get back into the workforce and they realize that they need more training in this, can you provide those very basic skills as well?
So I know Miss Cindy Rawlings on CSEP, they do quite a bit of work on this. You want to talk about that, Cindy?
Yes, with the training, the work-based training, the classroom training, we do computer classes. We also do getting our clients familiar with tablets and your cell phone. We also do work etiquette training. We do work in partnership with University of the Virgin Islands Corporate Extension Services, and they take their time and really work with the clients. And they have phases of the computer class because yes, a lot of time they are afraid to use the computer. So we have intro, intermediate, etc. And a lot of times when they learn to use the computer, their kids would purchase them tablets and laptops because they are so excited they can have that interaction with them more. So it does benefit not only the professional space, but also the home base in terms of interacting with family members.
Right, and that interaction with family members and friends is so important, that kind
Correct.
of social interaction, especially these days in the technology age and still dealing with a pandemic and so forth. And this makes me really excited that you offer this kind of program because even here at AARP, we're doing that. We had
Okay.
just kicked off a program just before the great lockdown of the pandemic, and now we're about to restart that program. So we have a partnership with VIA, and
Ah,
VIA purchased, I think it's about 10 laptop computers, and they hired an instructor on contract. That's Gregory Christian, and it's going to be right here in our AARP offices, just small classes of 10 people. It'll be a cohort of 10, and they will learn how to turn on a computer, how to use Microsoft Word, how to use email, computer safety, how to browse the internet, what to look at, what not to look at, how to avoid the pitfalls of the internet and so forth. So, and those programs are free of charge. Again, it'll be just small cohorts, and we're about to start that up soon. So stay tuned for all of you who are listening. It'll be on AARP Virgin Islands Facebook page in English and in Spanish. We'll be advertising this program, and we look forward to having students come in here to learn. So this will actually help your CSEP program too. Maybe we should form an extra partnership there and bring
Yeah.
CSEP into that
we will be
forum too.
happy to join you.
Yeah, yeah, it's really, really important. And then we eventually wanted to take it to the extent where we teach them how to use tablets and smartphones. This time we're just focusing really on computers,
Mhm.
but tablets and smartphones are also important devices to learn how to use and how to get into text messaging and so forth.
Yeah. Yes.
So if people, we just have a few more minutes, but if people are interested in finding out more about CSEP and the One Stop program and so forth, where do they go? On the internet, or what's the phone number? How do they find out more? If both of you can tell us how they find out more through your department.
Okay, certainly. So, Virgin Islands Department of Labor's website is www.vidol.gov, and you can definitely receive the link to our Views Job Bank through that means and learn a little bit more about our various programs as well. You can also reach us by phone in the District of St. Thomas, 340-776-3700, District of St. Croix, 340-773-1994.
Okay, and for CSEP, that would be the Department of Human Services. Our number here is 340-774-0930, extension 4327 or 4329. Additionally, you can try us on our cell because sometimes we have some network issues. You can try us at 340-715-6210 or 340-725-6207. Or if they need to come in and get an application packet, they can come to our office in the hospital ground.
Okay, now all the information you gave for CSEP sounds like that's pretty much all St. Thomas, right?
Correct. You can also get us at, sorry, 773 uh 772, sorry, 772 7100 7055. St. Croix. You're correct.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, perfect. So, any parting words of encouragement to get our older people involved in these programs?
My one bit of encouragement is that they come to us here at Department of Labor to the One Stop. We're more than happy to assist them. Definitely with taking a look at that resume and spoofing it up and making sure you express that experience in just the right fashion to make sure that you secure that interview for that job. So definitely come in. We're looking forward to assist you.
Great.
Also with CSEP, yes, we are encouraging you to come and join us here at Human Services. And for us, even with the pandemic has happening, our clients have sheltered in place and we're back out to work right after that stage was ended, and they have been working ever since. And there's no reason to wonder. We provide the proper precautions in all the workplace training. So we look forward to anyone coming to join us.
Wonderful. Ms. Etienne, you just said something about helping people to develop their resume, and I'm so happy about that. That's an important, powerful tool to have a resume that's well written. And from the perspective of a former business owner, if you will, the one thing I would like to see people put on their resumes is what are the skills that you bring to my business? How are you going to help my business? For some reason, here in the Virgin Islands, a lot of young people put on their resume what they want to get from the job.
Yeah,
Well, as a business owner, I'm sorry to say we don't really care what you want to get from the job. I mean, business owners don't think from that perspective. Business owners think, what are you going to bring to the job to enhance my business?
yeah,
What are you going to do to make my business stronger so that your paycheck can be stronger?
absolutely.
You see, because if my business is strong, then your paycheck is strong and your job is secured. So
Exactly.
it's not what the employee wants to get, but what can the employee bring? So, an encouragement to put that in there.
Absolutely. And, two things I would say to add to your resume these days, you definitely want to tailor it to the job you're applying for and the organization and industry. When you read that job posting, really look at the skills that job is going to require and really put that into your resume. It speaks to you really addressing their need. But then also, right now with the pandemic, more and more employers are asking that people be vaccinated, things like that. So if you are vaccinated, I do encourage you to go ahead and put it on the resume. That can be a differentiating factor as well for you. So that's just two little tips I'll just give people right now.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. We've run out of time here. You've been listening to Troy Deshabert Schuster, State Director of AARP in the Virgin Islands, in conversation with Melita Etienne from the Virgin Islands Department of Labor and Cindy Williams from the Virgin Islands Department of Human Services, the CSEP program. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Yeah.